Welcome to Centerpoint Africa with Nikki. My name is Nikki Emelike, CEO of Nisden College, and welcome. We have a special guest here today, Kanis Ifeanyi Akojuru, and I would actually allow him to introduce himself properly while we go. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Kanis? Can you hear me? You can hear me? Can you talk? Because I can't hear you. Yeah, can you tell me, because I can't hear you? If you can hear me, but I can't hear you.
I don't know whether maybe it's network from here, but I can hear you clearly.
I can hear you now. I can hear you now. But you can hear me though, yeah?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, thank you. Welcome to Centerpoint Africa with Nikki. We're actually live. So I would like you to introduce yourself, Kanis, please, to the audience.
Kanis Akojuru. I'm a financial consultant and also a power consultant. Basically, what I've been doing in the last 15 years is my major background was banking. I did over 15 years banking. I had over 15 years banking experience. Worked in more than 4 big banks in Nigeria. When I left banking, I decided to look at the major problem facing Nigeria, which is power and finance. So I set up a financial consulting firm and also in power. So basically what I was doing was to look at major Nigerian manufacturing industries, the telecommunication companies, looking at where we can assist them to improve in their efficiency level and also save costs for them. Of course, at the end, also to create employment for teaming Nigerians and Africa in general.
That little introduction. I also wanted to ask you about, you talked about four banks you've worked for. Can you tell us which banks they are?
I worked with Zenith Bank. I worked with Eco Bank, formerly when it was Oceanic Bank. I worked between Oceanic and Eco Bank. I also worked with Fidelity Bank.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Kanis. Also wanted to ask you, what made you go into power?
Well, looking at the Nigerian economy and the challenges facing Nigerian economy, it's also affecting African manufacturing firms and African economy. Looking at even the telecommunication sector in Nigeria. If you look at late 90s when the major telecom company came into Nigeria, one of their major challenges they were having is power.
Okay.
In Europe and other US and European countries, you notice that most investors, when they go into an economy, they only worry on their core areas of business, either finance and their raw material. But here, if you're coming into Nigeria and Africa in general, you think about security, think about infrastructure, then you now think about power. So my experience in corporate banking, in investment banking group, I found out that most of the companies that we are managing their businesses then, their major problem was an issue of power. Take for example telecommunication, the MTN, the Airtel, and the Glo. They had the same problem. And today, when I decided to go into power, one of our major clients was one of the major telecommunication companies in Nigeria, which is MTN. Today, we have over 15 megawatts power plant running for them in one of the bigger data centers in Africa. And we've actually saved a lot of money for them in terms of giving them their solution. We talked about climate change in Africa, in the whole world. People are complaining that the environment is changing. These are a few of the things that also encouraged me to look at how to solve the Nigerian power problem. If I'm to give you an example, for example, in MTN, one of their data or switch centers in Lagos here, they used to consume close to 1 million liters of diesel When we came on board, in terms of looking at their challenge, who brought a solution to them. They moved from diesel powered center to gas powered center, which is more efficient, more reliable, and environmental friendly. And they also saved a lot of money. I remember when we started the process of implementation and all that, it was costing MTN over 100 naira to produce 1 kilowatt of power, but we dropped it by more than 50 or 60%. Today they are happy. The process is also expanding. Other telecommunication companies are also looking at that direction to make sure they are more efficient and also to save costs. And of course, when you save costs, that kind of level of cost, of course, it means it's going to benefit the economy in terms of environmental on the environment side, and also save the company money. Of course, that means the government will get more revenue from the companies. They will also expand and employ more Nigerians in their different organizations.
Wow. Thank you for that in-depth outlook. Can I ask a question as well? Since you're in power, I'm so into youth development.
Sorry, Nikki, I'm not hearing you.
Can you hear me now?
Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me now? I can hear you.
Hello? Okay, it's better now. I can hear you now.
You can hear me now, yeah? Okay, sorry about that.
Yes.
Yeah, I was just asking, we have youth empowerment, and I'm so big at youth development. That's my core concept here in the UK, and my core in-depth look, and is what Nistin College does. Can I ask you about that? What you think about the youth development in regards to power?
Well, when it comes to youth empowerment regarding power, I can give you an example on my own company. It's basically run by youths. So far, when we started about 3 years ago, we've already employed more than 50 Nigerian youths in terms of training. We have a lot of young guys between the age of 23 to 26 having different trainings in combination with our partners in Nigeria, which is Agreco Power. It's a big company in Europe, quoted in London Stock Exchange. So, and these are big corporate companies operating in Nigeria that also finding a way, to support the Nigerian. So basically, on power, we've done a lot of training. In the last before the COVID pandemic came in, we had about 30 people on our training platform. Having series of trainings in power generation, transformer maintenance, and all that. There are different sectors we've been training, and we are kickstarting again by March to pick few Nigerians. We need to train them in different areas of field of power, because that's the only way to go. If you want to solve unemployment problem in Nigeria, everybody needs power.
Yes.
Everybody needs power for you to sustain an economy. So apart from security, if you don't solve the power problem in Africa, then let me say in Nigeria in particular, you will still have this challenge of having unemployment issues, a lot of issues. Because if you look at the way the economy is going now, crude oil is gradually going out of sync.
Yeah.
So the only way what we need to do is to the potentials in power in Nigeria is so massive, that even if let me give you an example. There was a study done by Augusto that the power sector in Nigeria is in excess of $500 billion.
Wow.
And it's untapped. So the old power companies to different companies, the discos, and they are also having challenges, legal challenges, other environmental factors, obsolete equipment. Somebody will generate power somewhere in Niger Delta and wheel it down to Oshogbo, from Oshogbo down to Lagos. You lose a lot of energy along the line.
Yeah.
But our concept is captive, and captive power. We look at factories, we looked at organizations, we looked at industrial areas and estates, private estates. You generate power very close to them. You wheel the power to the people, and you guarantee 24 hours light. and it doesn't take you much to do once there's either you're using a pipe gas or you're using a visual pipe gas, a visual gas, then you generate power. And the way we design our power plants, it makes it in a way that you don't even really need to do a spin reserve of 100% or 200% for you to be able to guarantee on 100% availability. There's a way you work it out with the gas plants. You can guarantee 100% availability with little resources. And if you can be able to do this in different sectors, in different individuals, take out the major big consumers out of the national grid, gradually solve Nigerian power. So that was actually the motivation, looking at Nigerian youth unemployment. And it's really working for us because we've really done much in power in Nigeria. But we are looking at there's a lot of proposals going on now, trying to advise government to look at the captive power, the independent power projects companies to also to support them, because government keep on supporting the Gencos and the disco, the distribution and the generation companies, not minding the small IPP company. Because
Canis, we're about to go on a break and we'll be back. Just give us a second. We'll talk about it. Centerpoint Africa. We've got Canis Ifani on the line, and then hopefully we'll carry on with the conversation. Thank you. Stay tuned. Africa with Nikki. I've got a special guest, Canis Ifani. Hi, Canis, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Thank you very, very much. It's really been a pleasure talking to you. I know we were cut off earlier as we went on a break in regards to the conversation we were having earlier, and that was about power and also about youth empowerment. And I also appreciated everything you stated in regards to those areas. I also wanted to talk to you about the Nigerian economy. Can you tell us a little bit in regards to that, and as we go along to see areas where Nigeria can be able to solve their power problem?
Well, talking about Nigerian economy, as you know, Nigeria is one of the biggest economy in Africa, the biggest in West Africa.
Yes.
But one of the key major challenges is facing the Nigerian economy is insecurity, power challenges, then policy somersaults. In terms of government, a new government comes in, changes policies, so it's also affecting foreign investors coming into Nigeria. I remember a few years ago when we had our foreign direct investment in Nigeria was running in billions of dollars.
Yeah.
In the last few years, because of insecurity in Nigeria, policy, inconsistency in policy formulation and all that, and implementation. So we've seen that area of the economy, dropping every day. The investors are not really coming in. If they want to come in, they would have more risk. You need to think about your security. You need to, factor in a lot of things before you come in. So that also takes a lot of time and planning and all that. So for us, for Nigerian economy to grow, because if Nigerian economy grows, it means the African economy is going to grow. The African Union, or the 54 African countries, signed the free trade, the African free trade, which is supposed to start this January. What it means is that it should be the biggest world trade bloc ever signed in the whole world, with over 54 countries. So, but you cannot, this nice idea, of course, European Union has it. We saw America signing the USMC signed with Mexico and Canada and all that, and it's just to promote trade and commerce and create employment. Where you have economic of scale, you take advantage of the countries who has more resources to produce at a cheaper rate. So coming back to Nigeria, the Nigerian government need to accelerate policies that will attract foreign investors to come into Nigeria to invest. Now, if you are telling a foreign investor to come into invest in Nigeria, maybe in terms of tire manufacturing or the raw materials are here, but you need to also look at security. You need to also look at power. Power is a major problem. If we can solve that power problem, Nigeria will be a final destination for foreign investors coming into Africa, because we have the numbers. It's actually on our favor. We have the number. Nigeria is over 200 million people, so we consume a lot. There's a lot going on in Nigeria. So for me, my advice to the Nigerian government, because they are part of this project, the Free African Trade, they need to put more attention in power generation, power distribution, because 2 weeks ago, World Bank announced a $500 million intervention in power distribution equipment and all that. Very nice idea, good opportunity for the power sector to utilize it. But you see, when you keep on putting such huge response of funds to generation companies and the distribution companies, and little is being achieved, you can't be doing something. You can't be doing something every time this and you expect to get a different result.
Yeah.
It's not possible. Me and my team, we have tried the other way around and found out that the only way to quickly solve Nigerian power problem is to look at the captive power solution. Look at the heavy users, the industrial hubs, generate 10, 15 megawatts within that cluster and solve their own immediate power needs. So whatever is remaining from the GENCOs, from the grid, you now use it to distribute to other locations. And why did we start in Lagos? Because Lagos, of course, contribute more than 40% of the Nigerian economy. So if you want to solve the Nigerian power problem, you need to solve the Lagos power problem. And that's why we started with the telecom companies, the industrial manufacturers and all that. And now we're gradually moving on. The only thing we're asking government is to liberalize the market more, give more people, amend few things on the Power Electoral Act, on the Power Act, so that more investors can come in and we gradually solve this power, because without solving the power problem, Nigerian economy will be having this issue, because everything you need to do in Nigeria, you need power.
Yes.
For telecom communications, they run with diesel. Some of them run with armor. So right now, I have a team I set up, young entrepreneurs. What we are trying to do now is to look at how we can help the telecom companies solve another area that is a major cost element in their operations, which is the cell sites. The cell site power, these long cell sites you have in the rural areas. Some are running in some rural, outward areas that you cannot easily access. Of course, there's no electricity in those areas. So we are looking at using solar hybrid solution, which is solar and wind, to generate power. Where we can, right today, the telecoms companies in Nigeria are having more than 30,000 cell sites all across everywhere, nook and corners in Nigeria. So, and this is a major cost to them. So we've finished the development of the solution. We've run a test, and is okay. Now, what we are doing in the last few weeks now is to send proposals to most of the cell site managers, the Pan-African towers, American towers, and few other ones, to say, look, this is the solution we have. We can save this for you in a number of areas. So the Nigerian economy needs proactive measures by the government. They need to sit down and talk to the professionals, not just sit down. You bring somebody who have never been who've not really done much in power, don't have much solution, and you make him a policy maker. So we keep on having run around. Another government will come, they will do another policy somersault, and we keep on rounding around. But there is hope, because I've seen in few years now, a lot of people are interested in power and gas production, gas distribution, government is now talking about using. Government now is talking about using converting cars, diesel cars, and fuel cars to gas and all that. So is yeah, they're thinking in the right direction, but they need to these two critical issues: insecurity, power. These are once these two major issues are being resolved, I tell you, Nigerian economy will grow with more than between 7 to 10% annually on growth.
Wow, thank you for that information. Can I also ask you another question? And this is in regards to your business. I know you're a consultant in regards to funding. I think it's to do with finance and power plant. Have you looked into basically
Yes.
UK in regards to funding? Have you ever done that in terms of your business? Because I know you're located in Nigeria.
Yes, we've tried it a few years ago, but one of the major challenges we are having when you approach a foreign investor or a foreign a bank or an investment bank in Europe or UK, yeah, you get to a point where they will now ask you for a foreign bank guarantee, to secure their funding. Of course, they need a local bank that can partner with them, that will give them a top European bank guarantee, in order to make sure that whoever they are giving money in Nigeria or in Africa to invest, they will be able to get back their money back. So, but we had that issue where some of the commercial banks here, find it a little difficult to issue a BG to a foreign bank. And their thinking is that, look, when you issue that BG, the local bank takes all the risk. The foreign bank will just sit down and watch you. So if the business goes wrong or if there's any issue, then the foreign bank and the BG, they will sort it out. So, but what we've done, because in the last 2 years, there's a lot of intervention banks in Nigeria, the Bank of Industry. They've been helpful. They've done a lot to support a lot of businesses in Nigeria. So what we've done is to, most times when we have those challenges of funding, we go to BOI. They will give you a little bit more leverage compared to what you can get from commercial banks in Nigeria. You can get up to 8 years repayment plan. You can have up to a year monitoring and interest payment and all that. It gives a lot of flexibility. Bank of India, they've been helpful. We've done one or two for a lot of local manufacturers here in Nigeria. But on power, we've not really done much. The only difference from my own solution, what we've done here, we have a very strong company called Agrico Power. Is listed in London State. In most of the solutions we have, we partner with them. So what they do, instead of
Yeah,
us going to borrow heavily.
and Canis, we're going on a break now. I would want
Okay.
to thank you so much. Centerpoint Africa, tune in back again as we continue our conversation with Canis. Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right.
Welcome back to Centerpoint Africa with Nikki. We've been discussing so much with Canis, and I would like to carry on the conversation. Canis, can you hear me? Hello? Yeah. While we wait for Canis, I would like to say happy Valentine to all the people who are celebrating Valentine. I know it's really a good year, continued by so much relaxation. What we're trying to do basically is to create a different position with Centerpoint Africa with Nikki, and we like to say thank you to our audience who've been very loyal to us and who's been watching Centerpoint Africa with Nikki. Like I said, happy Valentine, and I do know there's other things as well that's been an issue in regards to us, and basically COVID is here, and we know we've had so many deaths, but what I can say is welcome to Centerpoint Africa. And now I'll be talking to my guest, Kanis. Kanis, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, thank you so much, and welcome back. We had to have the break due to the way the processes here work. But let's carry on with this really lovely conversation that we've been in regards to in-depth conversation about Nigeria and power problems that we're having. And I know you were discussing about issues and then ways in which Nigeria would be able to, hopefully create a better opportunity and for Nigerians in regards to Nigerian economy. And we also talked about basically you and talking about funding and creating opportunity for your organizations. And yes, and I think we kind of got to a level that you're talking about the banks and what you've done. And if you can carry on with that conversation, that would be great, please.
Okay. You asked about if we've tried sourcing funding from the UK market.
Yes, definitely.
National institution. So I said, yes, we've tried, but the only challenge we are having getting a local bank that can give a foreign BG for you to be able to source the funding, because the interest is a little bit is far lower than what is obtainable in Nigeria.
Yeah.
Even though that the central bank and the commercial banks in Nigeria have done something pretty good in the last maybe 2 to 3 years, trying to bring down the interest rate in Nigeria. But when you talk about the power sector, because it requires a lot of huge funding, huge capital to implement. So what we did, because as a young entrepreneur, going to the Nigerian banks and sourcing funding, it might take you a long time. Yeah. So what we did was to partner with a foreign company who is also in Nigeria, who is into power solutions. So we signed all sorts of agreement with them, and they will provide us the technical know-how and some equipment. And while we now use the little money we have sourced locally here to augment what we have, and that has been working for us. About 3 major power plants we've done in Nigeria. That's basically how we did the funding. Is now we are gradually expanding. Now we are also talking to Bank of Industry. We are talking to other 1 or 2 commercial banks in Nigeria to see how we can pull up funds and do other bigger projects. Because towards the end of last year, we started talking to some of the distribution companies in Nigeria, see how we can look at some of the clusters they have. They don't have power availability in those areas. We can go in, generate in that particular cluster 5 or 10 megawatts, and feed into the grid, and that solve that particular area problem. So is UK market very good? But the only thing we are asking, if there's any investor who wants to come and invest in Nigeria, they can come in and partner with us, bring in their funding. We bring our own technical know-how, our own support here, and we expand. There is huge potentials in Nigerian power sector. Yeah. that anybody who is interested to invest in Africa can come in, especially now Africa have signed a free trade agreement that enables all African countries to exchange goods and services at a very low cost. That means there will be a lot of activities, commerce, industry. There's a lot that will be happening in the few years to come.
Wow. Well, thank you, Kanis. I would want to ask you a question, and this is basically not to do with power, it's to do with In the Creek. Please tell me about your involvement in The Creek, and I do know it's a blockbuster film, so tell me about In the Creek, please.
Well, in the creek it was a good project. I got involved in 2013.
Yeah.
Then I was a business manager in one of the Nigerian banks, precisely Fidelity Bank. And this young man, a young entrepreneur, came to my office, to do a transaction, and I came across to him, and we started talking. He told me about his vision for the Niger Delta youth,
Yeah.
what he intends to do to help solve the problem in Niger Delta, the environmental issues, unemployment, militancy, and all. There's a lot of problems there, and it's a problem that cannot leave for government alone. And I saw his passion, and I said, look, I can bring my expertise to support you in this business,
Yeah.
in entertainment and all that. He has been there for a long time, and that's how we started. And after a while, he made me a consultant because I became a director of finance on the project. I also assisted him in sourcing funding because most of the people that got involved in the movie were from Europe, some
Yeah.
are from South Africa, some are from US. We traveled very wide in terms of going to South Africa, UK, and US. Getting some of these funding, and because some of the people that got involved in the project, some of the equipments that was used in during the filming and other were all imported equipment. So
Wow.
some of them, in fact, 70% of the cost were all foreign, we are dollar-based and pounds-based payment. So I was involved in terms of fundraising, sourcing funding from different angles, from different areas. Some came in form of loan, and took us. We started in 2013. That's when I joined the team, and the film we were able to round it up in 2020.
Wow.
And I'm happy because it has been something I've been looking up to make sure that we have something to showcase to the whole world that look, Nigeria has a lot of potentials. And one of the things that also attracted me to this young man from Centarilla was his drive to support
Yeah.
the youth in Niger Delta. Part of the proceeds from the film that we're expecting is to build a film village in Niger Delta
Yeah.
that is going to train a lot of Niger Delta youths in filmmaking, a lot of other areas apart from entertainment industry. We intend to train some of them in power-related equipment, in pipeline installation, welding, and all that. Because you can't leave this for government alone.
Yeah.
So that was how, when I saw his vision, I saw the drive. I said, look, we need to support him, and I'm happy. I'm part of that success story. Big project. I'm proud of him, and I'm proud that he have really done so well for the Niger Delta youth. It shows that without no single government support,
Yeah.
no single government support, no single bank, no single bank support. And that film, I tell you, we spent some millions of dollars to get that film executed.
Yes. Yes, wow. I mean, I've heard from Tarila. I actually interviewed Tarila Thompson, and he's such a wonderful individual. And I also wanted to ask as well, how was it working with all the actors and actresses, and, were they good? So, just with your own opinion, tell me about the actors and actresses that was on the film.
Well, for me, my experience with them, they were cordial, they were nice people. They were so much interested in the project because this is a project that involved a lot of funding, a lot of time, a lot of planning. So when you go through the script, the first day I went through the script and I read it, and I saw a lot of people that were involved, a lot of the actors and all the star list actors and all that. I was amazed. I followed them in few of the occasions to some of the shooting sites and all that. And I saw the cooperation. I saw, but though my own major rule was to make sure whoever we sign a contract with in terms of on the movie, if you're on your own role, what you need to do and all that, and you're being paid. And once I get certification or approval from Thompson Tarell, I said, look, this guy have done his job very well,
Yeah.
and his payment is due. I will make sure his payment is being made to him immediately. So it was an eye opener. That was my first project in entertainment industry.
Yeah.
And I was very happy that I saw it to the end. And I'm happy today the movie is taking the Nigerian Nollywood industry to different places in the world. And we are hoping that the movie, when we finish, when we launch it, and because right now we are planning on the international premiere, we're looking at around March and April. We showcase to the whole world what the Nigerian youth can do without single government support. And this young man, with his vision and belief and the trust, he has this Nigerian project in his mind. Say, look, Canis, we need to do this and show them that it is possible.
Yes.
And I'm happy we made it possible, and here we are today.
Oh, thank you so much about telling me about In the Creek. I'm also part of it, and from the little time I've actually worked on this project, it's been really awesome, and hopefully, everyone would have all the means to be able to watch it, because we will be able to broadcast it everywhere, so that everyone will be able
Yeah.
to will watch it. Can I please, we've got about a couple of minutes before we close, but I would want you to tell the audience, how you would want to partner with anyone, in regards to your business in power, because I think it's very important. Yeah, so please, if you can tell us your communication, how people can be able to get in touch with you, please.
Okay. In terms of our business in Nigeria, we are looking at any Nigerian or an African or foreign investors, Nigerians living in Europe, America, anywhere in the world who wants to come back and invest in Nigeria. Power is an area that is very viable.
Yes.
There is so much opportunities in power sector. So much opportunities. We need to come back
Yeah.
and support our manufacturing firms. Make sure that we can be able to produce and reduce our imports, because Nigeria looks like the import-driven environment, mono economy. Everything you do in Nigeria is importing,
Yeah.
because one of the critical problems is that cost of producing in
Yeah.
Nigeria is high. Why? Because of power.
Thank,
So
thank,
in terms of
Thank you so much, Kenis. I think we're out of
yeah,
time. Thank you for accommodating us and being present here in Central Point Africa with Nikki. I hope you come back again, and you've been such a lovely person, and it's been really great talking to you. As we continue talking about power, plans, Nigerian situations, I hope that all things will be sorted out. But again, thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure talking to you. Central Point Africa with Nikki comes back Thursdays, 3 to 4 p.m. as we carry on with the conversation. Thank you so much for being present with us, and we will stay tuned. Please move on and progress with us. Central Point Africa with Nikki. Thank you.